What's up, guys? It's the Doza, and we are back here on the VforVanilla server for the final episode that you guys are going to see from Season 3, and I just want you guys to be prepared. I'm sure you've already seen the length of this video, but I'm letting you guys know today is going to be a long video because we are going to touch on and we are going to address every build I've done. And it's the final tour video, guys, and I kind of wanted to do everything in chronological order, meaning I wanted to show you guys what I built in the order that I built them, but that's going to be way too difficult, and we would end up being all over the place. So we're just kind of going to start from the portal room, run through the main base, talk about all the little things there, and then end it on the outside, and then probably end the video right here in an hour or so. I don't know. This video is going to be crazy long. So let's roll the intro and get this tour started. I think it was in July of 2015 that I finally joined VforVanilla. We used to have a series called Minecraft Mayhem Mondays, which turned into just Minecraft Mayhem. And we started advertising the group and started posting our videos on Reddit. And that's actually where we discovered Exo, because he found one of our videos or one of our posts on there, and he actually joined us for a couple of our Minecraft Mayhem nights. He eventually learned that I had my own server, the Dozacraft SMP server, and he started watching me as well as some of the other DC members. And he kind of saw my struggle with trying to get into a community with people who were focused on YouTube content, and he wanted to offer me a chance to be on his server where he had already figured that out. He's already gone through the trial and error of getting new members and letting them go and finding, you know, the cream of the crop, the people who were dedicated to this YouTube thing. I was kind of apprehensive about it at first because I didn't want to leave the server I already had. I didn't want the people on the Dozacraft SMP server to think that I was leaving them for any reason, but I saw it as a big opportunity to finally join a group that I've been trying to create for a couple years at that point. And once I finally joined the VforVanilla server, I felt really good. I was so happy to be here. And then of course I got to know people like Dunmar, who I joined in the very first UHC that I played with the VforVanilla crew as a member of VforVanilla. There was one season that I played as a guest, and then I think a couple seasons later I was finally a member of the VforVanilla server, and that's when I met Dunmar and Matt, and we were all strangers at the time, and we all became Team Damned, which is still alive and well to this day. So now it's been well over a year, and I'm very established here. We got this great base built, and now that we got a little bit of the backstory out of the way and some screenshots and clips, let's jump straight into the tour. Obviously things have changed big time around here since we very first found the area, and when I first discovered this land I started from way over that direction. The first thing I noticed was this little bit of extreme hills area, which kind of intrigued me right away, but then I made it to the top of the hill and I saw all this landscape out here, this relatively flat land. I'm gonna keep looking. Oh my goodness gracious me, look at this land. Ooh, okay. Nice big lake. I could definitely foresee a house maybe on top of that thing. So when you're looking for land, you really got to step back and try to envision this place with buildings. And this place might be the spot. I don't know. And eventually I set some paths down, and then I started building all these buildings. And then I built this bridge here. I'm not sure which episode it was, but I'm going to throw in a clip right here. But this was the very first area I started building in. So the idea was that this was going to be just my mining area. That's why it kind of looks like a mine. It has these logs up here and everything. It's got the bare stone on the ceiling because I wanted to look like I just dug into the earth and started building a branch mine. Because, you know, I wanted to do it in the extreme hills because I'm a huge fan of emeralds in this game. And I wanted to have a nice head start on emeralds. So it went from this to me wanting to build a store right here. I wanted to have a store at my base where people could come and buy things, and they'd get their items, and it would be totally automatic, and nobody would have to really have me online to buy anything. And then I built this room here. I built this room, and I decided that, you know what, maybe we'll build the base inside here. I always wanted to build some kind of base with huge hallways and high ceilings and really really extravagant and really huge, and that was kind of my goal here on VforVanilla, was to build bigger and better than I ever have before. I think the next thing I built, besides this entrance into my branch mine here, was the Ender Pearl elevator, which is just an Ender Pearl elevator, and surprisingly enough, in 1.10 and 1.9, this Ender Pearl elevator works better than it ever has in any other version of Minecraft. So this room was the first room that was built, this hallway here and this room over here, and then I started building inside here, which was just going to be a villager storage, and it just started, and then the idea of hallways and a big base started really coming to fruition, and it just started growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So the first thing I built was this furnace room here where we would do all of our cooking, and then out in that first hallway I had everything we needed as far as mining goes, which I guess we'll come back over here and show that. So right here we have the mass smeltery where we can cook up all kinds of ores and rocks and dirt and baked potatoes. We can cook everything in bulk here. Then over here we have the the granite and the diorite and the andesite storage, a little bit of dirt, stuff like that. Then on this side we have cobblestone. So this is all mining stuff right here. This is just a it's just a disposable thing. You throw that down there and there's a lava pit at the bottom. This is old school. This is what I used to do until I discovered redstone. So back over here, we got the furnace room, and then of course the first thing you want to build in Minecraft, besides a branch mine, is a storage, because you want to store all your stuff. I got the idea of this wraparound storage where it was one big room and we could just run through it, no interruptions, don't have to go through any doors or anything. So the whole storage is here. Everything, all the resources I have are all in this room, and it's pretty organized. I won't get into it, but all the things I need the most are kind of close right here. And then this room here is like my main storage, where we have the main chest with all of our goodies. Up top we have the junk drawer, which has all the knickknacks and things that we need. Got the food down here. Then we got wood and coal and redstone on this side, and then this over here is just all more stuff that I want to have immediately. So like I said, I'd love to have this chronological order, but it would just take far too long. This room was not supposed to stay like this. This was going to be just a room to hold a pet spider, is what it started out as, because it kind of looks like a spider cage. I never did catch a spider and put it in there, but it did hold a couple donkeys, a couple horses, some dogs, some pets I wanted to keep before I got the stable built. Branching off from the storage room, I started building these hallways, and one of the first things I built was this breeder here. I wanted to have a villager breeder inside my base, which has since broken because I started building the castle stuff on top, and for whatever reason it's interrupting the skylight, and these villagers don't really breed anymore. But this is my breeding room here, which includes some more villager storage that have these swapperoos here. You hit the button and it switches between two different villagers. Then I got the signs on top that says what books they have and how many emeralds they cost. The best books they have, and of course I went through all the villagers I could, and I got all the best deals I could possibly find. And right off this storage here, we have a staircase that goes down into this decorated room that has an even larger villager storage. And right here in the middle, this is something I started doing a while ago in Minecraft, but I love these little vine tunnels here. The middle block is the only place you could fall straight down, and sometimes I put like a slime block here to catch you. But this goes straight back up into the villager storage room, and everything just connects so well at this base. I absolutely love it. We got beacons here all throughout the base, and right down this vine ladder here is an even bigger storage, which I never really talked about this room down here. I didn't get to address it very much, but this is just an even larger extension of the villager storage. And of course we got a ton of awesome villagers down here. I love playing with villagers in Minecraft. We have a couple hallways here. This was this was something that just worked out itself, and this connects straight to the trophy room. And I guess while we're here we'll talk about this. This room just contains all of the special items I have. Like this is the red versus blue second place, and this is the award we got. We got the second place chest piece, as well as a couple diamonds. Over here we have some competition I had with MG, where I won a diamond block, and a lot of these chests are empty just because I made so much space down here that I guess I just expected to have a lot of achievements. These rooms down here, there's rooms over there as well. These are supposed to be for remembrance type things. So this is in remembrance of Odalisca. We have Odalisca's last head, which is called Oda's Departure Decapitation, and a diamond to remember her, which she left us this diamond in our mailbox at spawn. I guess I should probably point that out too. We did do a final spawn tour, but my footage did not work out. Hopefully this footage does. so I was not able to upload the full spawn tour. But be sure to go check out everybody else. Everybody else did. Then we have Ector here, and like I said, on that side we have some more chests, but a lot of it didn't get filled in. Now on this side of the trophy room, this is all the holiday stuff. So we have Christmas 2016 from Tricky Piston. Here we have Christmas 2015 single gifts. So these are just single gifts I got from people, and I renamed it all. I got this from Ikari, C Money, RJ. This is from Phil. This is from MG. Another one from Phil. This is from Biz. And I'm a keepsake kind of guy. This is, what is this? Christmas 2015 from EXO. Up top here we have some birthday gifts from when my birthday came around. This is Halloween 2015, and I was the Little Mermaid. I actually got that costume from Odalisca's shop. And this is the trophy room. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm not going to go into too much detail because this video is already going to be crazy long. But I'm really happy with how this trophy room turned out. You can see I got wither skulls all along the walls as decorations. Tons of wither skulls. How many wither skulls is this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So we have 36 skulls total in both of, these two walls combined. Just as decoration. Then I got these cool little lights here, all the chests and the carpets, and on the walls I have the acacia logs with the regular smooth stone, which I just absolutely love how that looks. And I'm just really happy with how that trophy room turned out. So everything has multiple hallways connecting everything together. So if we go up this, then we're in another part of my base. This part of my base is just like a segue from my main base into my trophy room. My trophy room is down these stairs, and I got each set of armor in Minecraft up here, kind of decorating the area, and it looks like a room that is a segue between one place and another in this base. So this is one room, that connects to the main hallways. It's hard to do a tour like this because everything connects together, but let's run back down here and go back to the villager storage where we started, where it connects right in this hallway. So we're back in this storage room again, and I apologize if you can hear a jet flying over. My window's open. I needed to record this video early in the day because I knew it was going to be a long video. So we're back in here. Over there is the trophy room, and this hallway, or this staircase here, actually goes down to one of my very first projects on this server. Down here we have the villager purification laboratory is what I ended up calling it, and I guess we'll give a little demonstration. I've given a demonstration of this before. Right over here we have a zombie spawner, and we have some buttons here. You can read the sign. It says lever up, purification mode, lever down, experience mode. So you flip this lever down, and it actually takes these villagers, or takes these zombies and drops them into this little room here where we can kill them and get experience. It has hoppers that go down into a massive storage that stores all the stuff that they drop. If we stand here long enough, we can actually see the villagers coming through here. But then, alternatively, the reason this is the villager purification laboratory, we can flip that switch up, then hit this button, which kind of gets rid of the water here, so there's no way they can actually come up there. Then they start coming up this side, which sends them over these holding areas, drops them into these, and then we can cure them. And the way we do that is we hit this button, it opens this door, and he walks out, and he falls down. We close that, which closes everything up again, and now it's ready for another villager. Then we come over here, we head downstairs, and now we see that this closed. It brings up this block and closes this and traps this guy in here. And do we have any, I don't know if we actually have any potions in there. No, we don't. So we hit that button, it dispenses a weakness potion on the guy, and then we can cure him. This is the biggest redstone project I have ever done. And it went through many versions of it before I decided to settle on this. And I do plan on building this again. This is a really cool way to use zombie spawners. It's not fully automated because there's no way to detect, a zombie villager from just a regular zombie, so it takes a lot of, you can't AFK it, you have to pay attention to what zombies are falling down into these slots. As you can see, there's a regular zombie here, so what we do is we'd kill him, and then that thing opens up again, and hopefully, we get a zombie villager in there. And then when we do that, we do the old trick where we hit this switch like this once again. He comes walking out, he falls down in the hole, and now he's down there waiting to get a weakness potion and a golden apple and to be healed. So if the villagers don't fall into these holding cells, they continue on through this water path, and they come to this area where they are chasing this villager here, and they fall down this hole and go through a whole system, and then they end up in this area, which is just another area for an experience type grinder. So we actually have 2 experience collecting areas here, and no villagers go to waste. If these capsules, these holding cells are full, no matter what, we're gonna have some use for them because they go through the system and they fall down through here, and then we just use them for experience. So no zombies go to waste. So on the topic of curing villagers, I guess I should go show you guys the 3 wise men. We are all over the place, I know, but these are the 3 wise men. These are the very first 3 villagers that I cured, and they are in this swaparoo contraption, but I keep them down just so they're protected. So we have a cleric here, and we have a leather worker, and then over here we have a librarian, and that just happens to be what they were when we cured them. Before 1.8 or 1.9 or whatever it was, we couldn't tell what the villagers would be before we cured them, and then eventually they made it so the zombie villagers have a different skin, and you can actually see what kind of villager they will turn out to be if you cure them. But before that, it wasn't known. So this was the very first 3 villagers that I cured, and I dubbed them the 3 wise men.
That's classic. That's classic you, turkey baster.
Back up here in the segue area, I guess we'll go over to my bedroom, or we could point out this is the mushroom down here. Then we're back in the hallways, you know, lots of decoration. I was really happy with this decoration stuff, and this is when I started realizing that, you know what, we might just build a castle here. So the whole innards of this place, these hallways, was the very first thing I ever did. And when I started decorating the walls and putting things up like this, the armor stands. Oh, and these are the very first 3 Wither skulls that I got on this server. But the natural way that I started decorating these hallways, it really started feeling like a castle. And that's when I decided that the end game idea of this would be a castle built into the mountain. And this is my bedroom. Really happy with how this bedroom turned out. I always need to have this Wither painting somewhere in my base on every server, as well as these 2 guys. I seem to always have these. This is my wardrobe room, which I don't know if I've ever really explained how this works either. We can take our armor pieces and throw them into each and every one of these. We can even put a weapon in here. If I had a shield, I think I could put it there and it would actually equip it. But check this out, guys. Boom! Ready for combat. All the stuff dispenses. That's a cool little trick. I really do love that. So this is the wardrobe room, which never got used. The idea of this was I would throw armor inside, you know, inside these dispensers, and when I wanted to wear something, I would just hit that. And I'm not sure what these leather black boots are, but this is the wardrobe room. Then on this side of my bedroom, we have the closet, where Game and Soy put the sign butts. And this room eventually turned into my area to hide my prized villagers. So right here we have a librarian villager with mending books for 10. And this villager here with the Dunmar head on him was the reason I made so many diamonds. I made so much money off the other VforVanilla members, and it was so affordable because it's only 10 emeralds for a mending book. And at the time, everybody wanted mending books because it was a brand new enchantment. We just did the 1.9 update, and it was just a huge deal. So I think I made not quite a stack, but I made like 50 blocks of diamonds off everybody, just selling mending books for 2 diamonds each. It was absolutely crazy. And right now all the entrances are blocked off because it just happened to be the end of this season was Halloween. So, you know, everything shows up like this. We've already done the final world save. So if you guys want to come check out the base, it's gonna be very Halloweenified. So now we're on the outside of my bedroom area, and this is one of my proudest builds as well. This little boardwalk here that goes alongside the lake. As you can see, it goes alongside the mountain and just kind of wraps around and comes over to this little island over here, where in the beginning I noticed this little island and I decided that it would definitely be a good place to build something. Ooh, okay. Nice big lake. I could definitely foresee a house maybe on top of that thing. Eventually, it turned out to be this lighthouse, which I'm very, very proud of. I absolutely love how this lighthouse turned out. I got the little creeper face in the side of it, which is it's a small version of it. It actually uses stairs and blocks to make it. It's kind of interesting. I'll hop up there really quick and show you guys. Okay, we're up here now, so you can see these are actually stairs right here, and it just turns out to be a really cool small little creeper face design, and it just fits so well in this lighthouse. Over time, things happened, and a creeper blew up here and destroyed the signs, but I actually got pranked by Fanaqua and Hungry Squid when they both first joined the V4Vanilla server, which now they are very much established members here on V4V. But I pranked Squid along with Dunmar, and we brought a couple, we trapped and named a couple squid. It was quite the difficult task, to be honest. And then we turned a part of Hungry Squid's base into a fish tank, and we named one squid Squidmar, and the other one was Desquidza. And the joke was that since Hungry Squid joined the server, that he brought a couple of his family members along with him. And then, as a prank back, he came over here and he built a kraken coming out of the ocean over there and wrapping around my brand new lighthouse. I literally just built this lighthouse that week, and it was already pranked. And of course, that stayed there because I thought it was just absolutely hilarious. Also, something I should point out is when I found that zombie spawner down there at the zombie purification laboratory, I found that while mining, so I started branch mining. You know, that was the very first area we built at this base, was the branch mine. And I found that spawner while I was down underground, and then I dug straight up, and I ended up finding myself here. That goes straight down to the zombie spawner, and when I dug out, I found myself right in the middle of this mountain right here. And I thought that'd be a perfect area for a beacon. So that's one of the very first beacons I made. Was right in the middle of this castle, or of this mountain here. Oh my god, look at this castle. This is all endgame stuff. I mean, I built all this outside castle bit at the end. I mean, like, this is only a few episodes ago, you know, like less than 10 episodes ago. So we have this boardwalk, which I eventually designed it with these droppers, or what are these? Yeah, these droppers on top that are facing downwards so you can't actually see the hole in it. But it just looks like great caps for these pillars here. And then, of course, you know, we have this big lake, which was a staple to this area, one of the very first things I noticed. And I wanted to build a little fishing shack around it. So coming down this boardwalk here, I made this staircase. And at the time, I was very proud of this. Just a little fishing shack. You know, we got a room here. We got some storage for bows that we catch and books that we catch. Valuables. Look how many name tags I've caught. Over here we have fishing rods we can use, and over here is like the main storage. This is the very first fishing rod I ever made, was the Rodza. And then we got All Day Fish Time when 1.9 came out, and Dunmar hooked me up with a very good fishing rod that also had mending on it, which was a very big deal at the time, and this is just an extra one. And then over here we have all the fish that we catch and all the good things. At one point up here I had the first fish I caught, but sadly, once upon a time, lightning struck this boardwalk, burnt most of it down, including this fishing dock. So this fishing dock was rebuilt at one point. So then on the outside, we have, you know, the actual dock we can go fishing at. Over here is a little bit of design with cauldrons and anvils, just for the looks. It looks good, you know, catches water and stuff. The idea is this is where we store live fish, and we fish off the dock right here. Little step down on this side, and this is the boat access. So we grab a boat, and you know, we want to go somewhere, we just hop in the boat, go where we need to go. When we want to come back, we just come up right up next to this, and the idea is you hit shift, and it did not work. But the idea of that was it's supposed to put you right back up here on the dock. By no means are we done exploring the inside of this base. We just happen to be out here. I'm kind of bouncing around all over the place. Also something, I don't know, I turned on better grass. I use Optifine. I turned on better grass just to see what it looks like. I'm seeing if I can get used to it. I kind of do like it, but this little bits here really bother me. That looks really tacky. But when it's all grass, it looks really good. So now, right here off the boardwalk, we have this staircase that comes up here, and this was another one of the things that I did in the beginning. All throughout my base, on every side, there is some way to get in or get out of the base. That's just something I like to do. I like to be able to get into my base no matter where I'm coming from. So we have that exit here, and then we made this path which goes over to the Valley of Death. And this place was never never had any proper attention to it either. The idea was we would have graves here, all alongside this little coarse dirt path that we have. I also wanted to come over this direction. I wanted to have, little graves and sarcophaguses, sarcophagi in the side of the mountain. It was going to be the Valley of Death because it's like a little valley, and in the mountain there would be graves, and alongside the path there would be graves. Get away from me. And this was natural too, this waterfall here. And then I built this, I don't even know what to call it. Not a tomb. I can't remember, like a monastery. I don't know what it's called, but this was a little place that, oh man, I haven't been in here in a long time. This was all my very first pet. Sammy, rest in peace, on March 31st. That was quite a while ago. Oh, he was a pig. Okay. And then down here we have Delicious. I'm not sure who Delicious was. Apparently Delicious was a sheep. Here we have Hank. Oh, this was Hank the First, my dog. That's when he died. Desecrated. Yeah, this is a desecrated grave. I can't remember what this cat's name was. It was a cat. I can't remember what its name was, but somehow that sign got broken, and I can never remember what the cat's name was. Over here we have Andrew, which was an Enderman pet I had, and he died. We have FE203, which was he was my door guard at one point. He was an iron golem. We have Renegade James. Oh, Renegade James. He was my mule. Up here we have Kevin, one of my cats. We have Mootilda. Mootilda actually helped us in the 36 Wither boss fight. I brought Mootilda with us so that way we could have some milk. And then, of course, recently you guys know we fought 200 Wither bosses, which did not turn out very well. And then the last one here is Random Creeper at the bottom. I think that was just the creeper that snuck up on us when I was showing a Mystical Goddess this little build that I made. And, of course, had to kill the creeper so he didn't destroy the building. And then I made him a little spot there in the monastery. I don't know if it's the monastery. I don't know if that's what we call it. So alongside this path, which turned out really well, that this gigantic building we have didn't interrupt the path too much. It kind of comes out in a pretty decent spot. But next we made, and this is not chronological, like I said. This is not necessarily the next thing we made. Oh, there's a freaking... Okay. I gotta deal with you. I'm trying to do a server tour today, or I'm trying to do a base tour today. I don't want to have to deal with mobs. It's not a PvE type of day. But anyways, down here, one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft is to tear down a gigantic field of sugarcane. Everybody likes to automate things. I appreciate the handheld, the manual labor side of Minecraft. So this is where I have my sugarcane field, which for a while I would come through and I would harvest and AFK to let grow again. I was obsessed with this place. You can see how much sugarcane I actually have here. But you need to go away, creeper. This right here, this is the perfect way to set your water. I can't make words happen. This is the perfect way to lay out your water sources, to have a sugarcane field that is basically every single block on the field can have sugarcane, because of course to plant sugarcane you need to have it right next to a water source block. So you can see literally every single block here I can place sugarcane on, and I just love how that turned out. This field was a big staple to how everything started working out for me at this base. With my villagers, I needed a lot of paper to trade. This field is probably the reason I made so many emeralds to begin with. And, it led to the mending villager that made me a bunch of diamonds, and it led to the great villager storages that I have. And I just think this sugarcane field, being that it was one of the very first projects I had at this area, turned out to be a very important part of the end game that we have here. I use that term a lot, end game, but it did turn out to be a very big deal as far as the success and the everything we've done here on this base and on this server. So much later on, we decided to start decorating out here. We got these two big trees, and this was a project that never happened either. I kind of wanted to have a face dug into the mountain here, and this shape right here was going to be the gigantic face's nose, and out the nose came a bunch of slimes. And if we can get up here, and like I said, this wasn't until later on. This was nowhere near in the beginning. I'm out of ender pearls, aren't I? We can just jump down here. So this goes straight down to bedrock, not bedrock level, but the level of where slimes can spawn. And we have a slime farm down there. It breaks up the slime until they become the smallest version of slimes. And then the small guys can climb up this ladder very easily. And they come up here and they separate into two water streams, which ended up being, or it was supposed to be, the two nostrils of this face here. And then they come through and they drop out of the nose, and you know, it's boogers, guys, it's boogers. Never ended up making that happen, but I did finish it enough that the little small slimes will fall down here, they'll die on those hoppers at the bottom, and then store away into these chests where we got a bunch of slime saved up, just in case we ever needed that much slime. Okay, so now we can move on, and I mentioned before that everything connects together in multiple ways, so you can see now there's a little opening here that comes out right back into the beginning of the base, and if we break through this little area, this was another bridge that I made, and we were going to build a giant tower on this platform here, but it ended up just being an area where I got pranked. And Game & Soy came by with obsidian and he wrote his name on this little hill here. And you guys might have seen it in videos. I've probably never addressed it. But right here, in all the greatest screenshots of this castle too, I'll throw a couple up right now. You could see in the corner this little prank that Soy left me. And it's his name in obsidian. So we were going to build a tower here. That never ended up happening. And that's fine because, you know, the big castle ended up being plenty enough. Although I would have liked to put something here, but it just never ended up happening. But this bridge, you know, we built this, and eventually that turned into this gigantic elevator we have, which is really, really quick. I guess I'll go up it really quick. You can see, if I look outside, you can see how quick I'm actually rising into the sky. It's absolutely crazy. Look how high we are just in a couple minutes. I know that's really freaking loud, so let's just jump right back on down. And that was later game as well. And then once I built the castle, I kind of incorporated it into the castle build, and that's why we have this gigantic portion of the castle here. It just kind of, obviously it doesn't cover up the elevator, but you know, it makes it part of the build. Actually, you know what? Right over here, this is the very first area where I planted crops. I mean, this is the beginning. Then eventually through the castle, I started building this river, and the river was supposed to come out into the lake out here, but I never ended up finishing it because I never got the nerve to destroy my very first area where I started planting crops, and these are all the very first crops too. I used to have carrots and potatoes and melons and everything going on here, and this was also my very first sugarcane area, so it was right down the hill. And I guess while we're here, we could talk about this too, this area right here. So this goes right into the castle, you know, it separates that way, goes that way. This is just an intersection right here, and this intersection here is where for a long time I kept all of my storage chests and everything. Before I built my storage, right here was where I would hang out all of the time. All my chests, all my resources were right in this area before I finally made it inside and built a proper storage area. Oh man, this is a lot of talking. This episode's crazy. I appreciate everybody hanging out for this whole episode. It's going to be very long. It's obviously very talky. So this here is another room that meets up to everything else. You know, a lot of entrances, a lot of ways to get into every part of the base. But this right here is an ender pearl elevator, or not an ender pearl elevator, it's an item elevator that goes all the way down to my branch mines. And at my branch mines, I have a, actually, you know what, let's jump down there. We haven't really talked about the branch mines much. I guess I could touch on that. But basically all the items that I collect while mining, I throw into a chest, and it comes up into this chest, into my base, where I can come and collect what I need and bring it back to the storage room. So let's hop down into our branch mine now. So we just jump on down, and I have a little water catch that catches us. And this is my branch mine. This is how I do all of my branch mines. We have this area here, which is the ender pearl elevator to get back up. And just in case you fall down and it fails for whatever reason, I put slime blocks here that catch you. And over here is just the regular ladder that we came down. And then out in every direction, 75 blocks, I dig these branches 2 blocks wide. And because we are in the extreme hills and we have the possibility of finding emerald ore, I went ahead and did the 2 blocks wide rather than the 3 blocks wide. So here, let me just tell you really quick. The best way to branch mine is to have a 3-block separation between branches. And that is because diamond ore always spawns in a 4x4 pattern. You know, maybe 1 block on the top, bottom, left, or right, but always a 4x4. And if you mine 3 blocks in between, no matter what, if you go across a diamond patch a diamond vein, you're guaranteed to see at least one side of it. But with emerald ore, it only spawns one block. So the reason I have it 2 blocks wide rather than 3 blocks wide is because I built this branch mine directly into the mountain, and the whole idea was I wanted to find emerald ore, so I made it 2 blocks wide so that there was no way that I would actually miss any of the emerald ores that I came across. Well inside the extreme hills biome when we start branch mining, because you know me, what's important, I gotta have my emeralds. So here's the chest I was talking about. Everything I have I just throw right into this chest, and it gets sucked up and brought underground all the way over to here, and shoots up this item elevator, which it sounds like it's working, but it really doesn't work. Like if I look through this, oh, maybe it does work. No, yeah, see, it gets stuck. A lot of it gets stuck in the elevator itself. You can see these aren't moving anywhere. So the idea was it would just take all the items, shoot them back up into the base, and we would have them. I can't believe I used all my ender pearls, and now we can't even use the ender pearl elevator. Okay, I went out of my way to go get ender pearls so we could actually try this ender pearl elevator. So you could take the ladder, right? Everybody, you know, you could take the ladder, you can get back up, everything is safe. But with this design, and I don't see people use it much anymore, there are 3 traps here. So there's the first trap, and like I said, this works better now than it ever has in Minecraft. Basically on the back side of these, we have a, actually, you know what, let's dig back there. Oh, they got some haste going on. We have very simple redstone here. This is actually another piston that all it does is kind of updates the blocks. But we hit this and it closes some pistons below us, and the idea is we throw the ender pearl straight up, the ender pearl hits this line, this tripwire line, and it catches us. And it used to be kind of buggy, there was some weird delay with it, but now it works better than ever. So we can go straight up, we throw another one, and it catches us, and it's flawless. I don't know, it just works so well. And each of these heights is it's the highest we can throw an ender pearl. So, you know, using as least of these contraptions as we can, which ends up being 3, gets us from level 11 all the way to where we need to be. And this is the last one we need to throw. It catches us. You can see there's no problem, no glitchiness. We don't get stuck in any blocks. We don't fall back down anymore. So I really don't even need those slime blocks on the bottom. But then it catches us, and now we're up here. We're right back here up at the top. And you can see. Well, let's jump right back down. If I do this in quick succession, you can see we get from level 11 to the top very quickly. So we throw 1 pearl, catches us, another pearl, and the last pearl. 3 pearls, we're all the way at the top in no time. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. I don't see people using that anymore, and I'm definitely going to use it next season. I think we've talked about everything on this side of the castle, so now we can start moving down to this side. And this castle, this base just started growing more and more as time went, and my mindset was I wanted to have a different room for every aspect of the game. So we have the villager breeder, we have the storage, 2 separate rooms already. I just realized I forgot to show a very important thing. So in this main chest we have here in the storage, I actually have all of my very first tools. So we have the first wooden pickaxe, first stone, iron, and diamond. I even have my first diamond sword in this chest, and I got my first emerald and my first diamond and my very first crafting table ever made. These are samples and other things, but all of these were going to make it into the trophy room at some point. I just never got around to it. So they will forever be in this chest, and absolutely next season I'll be keeping my first tools from over there as well. We have the furnace room, which is, you know, basically a separate room. We have this hallway that goes down to the villager storage. That's another room. And having all of these aspects separated into different rooms, it automatically gives you a chance to have a huge base and gives you a ton of building ideas. So now we have the potion room here, which this didn't get finished either. I didn't finish the ceiling. I kind of got the shape worked out how I wanted to have it, but I never did finish it. And this is all original design. I really like how this turned out. And once 1.9 came around and it changed how panes look, glass panes, but I don't know, everything turned out good. We just got a nice small little thing here for nether wart, which I never needed more than this. This is exactly what I need. I just come through with a fortune 3, and I mean I get a ton already. Look at that. I get 35. Look at that, 52 nether wart if you use a fortune 3, and that was plenty enough for me to do potions forever. I mean I may have harvested. This may be the 5th time I think under 5 times I have harvested this little area. And then we have this thing here in the middle where we keep all of our potion ingredients. And I got really sidetracked by that note block sequence I have. So each of these, of course, I'm very organized. We have a chest for the blaze rods. We have a chest for water bottles and empty bottles. Up here are finished potions, just random ones that I finished. Then we got the potion ingredients in here, along with our book. This book is very important for me. I make this every map and everywhere I go in Minecraft as well. And I leave it unsigned just in case I need to change stuff. But in here, it's just a very simplified recipe book. It explains very simply how to make every potion. Excuse me, every potion. Doing too much talking. I need to take a drink of water really quick. Okay, there we go. So making an awkward potion is very simple. You just add the nether wart to it. So that was a given. That's not mentioned in this. So everything starts with nether wart to make an awkward potion. And then you add for a potion of healing, you add a glistering melon. For regen, gas tier, and so on and so on. And even this is organized. So we have all the good potions on this page. We click again, we have the other relevant sort of to each other. We have the invisibility, night vision, water breathing, and slowness. And the next page is the bad potions. We have the potions of harming, weakness, poison, and leaping was added just because that was a new one at the time. And then notes. I put notes page at the end. And you guys can rewind and screenshot these pages if you want. It's a very simplified way of making potions, for me at least. I guess this is translated for me. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody else. But here on the note page we have just notes. We have the redstone dust equals increased time. Glowstone increases tier. My nose itches. Hold on. Apologize for that. Fermented eye does the opposite effect. So any potion you have, if you have a potion of healing, and then you add a fermented spider eye to it, it turns it into a potion of damage. If you have a potion of regeneration and put fermented spider on it, I believe it turns into a potion of weakness. And so on and so forth. So that was always a very good thing to have, and I'll definitely... I have screenshots of those pages, so I'll be able to use it next season. Then all throughout here, we just have our different potion stands. These always change up top. The first one's always the nether wart, which turns into awkward potion. Then on the bottom we have the tier, the time, and then the splash, which, the splash is gunpowder. The time is redstone. It's just completely stock, so we can run through here really quick and make what potions we need. And then lastly we have our water source here. Of course you need some kind of water source to fill up your water bottles. Okay, so back out here in the hallway, I then built a library because, I needed a place to store enchanted books and also to have a proper area for enchanting. And what better place for books and enchanting than a library? And what, castle needs a library. So it's a very simple library, but it's very nice. It's very nice. I love how this place turned out. This building here was actually the very first building I made as far as the castle goes. I'm going to break this ender pearl out really quick just to show you it. This building here, it was just this, which eventually turned into having a tower on top of it. But at first it was just this little building, and that was kind of the very first leg and kind of set the pace for how the castle would look, because I had these logs jutting out of the side and had the stone brick in there, and the general shape of it and the feel of the build. This area set the pace for how the entire castle would look. So you can see the entire castle has logs and basically that same design. I'm getting really flustered, guys, man. These long videos are hard to do. So in this enchanting room, of course, right here we have our lapis and our books that we need. We have every tool that we need to check what kind of enchantments we can get on this. Up here we flip this switch and we actually have a what's it called? A bottle of enchanting dispenser, which gives us just a few extra bottles of enchanting if we need it. This paper right here is from the Halloween event, which, by the way, I have a ton of those papers and a ton of these bottles of enchanting, just in case people want to come back through and do this. So we have our enchanting room. This goes up to level 30, the max enchantment, and blah, blah, blah. We have the library, which I'm very happy with. It's a very nice library. We got our banners all over the place throughout this base. I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is my patented, this is Doza's banner here, which you will see it everywhere. Doesn't matter what server it is. And then, of course, in here in the library, we have the book depository, which is all sorted out. I'm not going to get into it, but everything is sorted out where it needs to be. You guys can kind of see the signs and what they say. Over here, we have Silk Touch, very, very important thing to have. Then all the armor stuff is on this side. We got some anvils in case we need them. And I'm going to move on because I'm getting so exhausted already. This next hallway does have a door that comes into our storage room, which we know so well. And in the storage room, I guess I should mention this door. This comes into where the natural mob farm is. Can I please get through this door? It's always been a problem. We come into here, and this is where the natural mob farm is. It's closed off right now. I should not have done that. I should not have broken that. Oops. We'll just cover it up with one of these blocks, I guess, for now. But that's where mobs come to die. You know, they fall, they have this spawning room up top, and they fall down and they die. It collects into these, and then heads back into that hallway where we are going to return in just a minute and get stored away. In here we have a bunch of villagers. This is the villager area. A bunch of farmer villagers that I procured and got through breeding or curing wild zombie villagers, and I threw them in here because the idea was, and this doesn't work anymore either, I don't know why, these are all farmer villagers, and what they're supposed to do is harvest all of these crops and pass them to each other, and then below here, if we hop down, I actually have a rail system that goes through here. It's on a timer. I think no, the rail's on right now, but maybe I think I probably took the stuff out of here. Is this still going? Yeah, I took everything out. But if we throw that in there, now it turns it on, and then that's going back and forth way too quickly. But you can see that turns this rail here on and off, which stops that minecart. But that minecart goes back and forth through the whole place, and it collects all of the carrots and potatoes that these villagers try to trade to each other, or the ones that they harvest. And it just basically throws them into that block, and we're able to get free carrots. It's like an automated carrot and potato farm that, you know, it harvests itself and then it replants itself. It works out really good when it actually does work, but lately it does not work, and that kind of sucks. But oh well, it's a really interesting part of the base. And over here we just have crazy freaking bulk storage, and you know, this is like an on-off switch. I can't go into every detail about every build, but trust me, everything is in depth. Everything is prime. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start. Like, this is Flyboza here. This is my flying suit. Over here we have the red vs. blue heads that we got from the red vs. blue event. These are all accurate, by the way. Every kill that I got, you know, I got 3 kills on Digi, so I have 3 heads of his. I got 4 kills on Exo, so I got 4 of his. My god, man, there's just so much to talk about. This video could be hours long, but I'm sort of trying to rush through it. This was my old potion room. You can see we have a water source here. So right outside these doors we have this storage, and this is where the natural mob farm goes into. They all die. They drop all their stuff in here, so you can see we have all kinds of stuff. A few witches have died in there. They drop their potions, lots of sugar, and it's just a very it's easy gunpowder. I mean, look all the gunpowder I get from this. All the creepers that die. Then that goes up to the outside of that place. So now we're heading down this hallway. This is the longest stretch of wall that has nothing on it. You know, I just decorated it with this design, the red and black design with the armor stands in it. And this is the longest wall on the whole place that has no rooms or anything in it, because on the other side is actually the potion room. So continuing down this hall, you can see we come up into here, which is where we were just a minute ago with the villagers. And then on the left we have the flesh hall, which has 20-something clerics, all with 36 rotten flesh trade, which is the lowest trade you can get with these villagers. If you want to make a bunch of diamonds and have a bunch of extra rotten flesh, you just give it to them. And then this side of the castle is kind of blank. We have a couple entrances into this castle. Oh, they're my dogs. Hey, buddies. We saw Hank. We saw Hank in the burial place, and this is Hank Jr. here. And then we have Stitches over here. You know, you guys can come with me. I'm not sure what you guys are doing down here anyways. So we come back into the flesh hall. And yeah, this side of the base is it's kind of bare. We were going to have an intersection here that went a few different directions into different areas of the base. This is just another hallway here. I guess this is a pretty big stretch as well. That is undesigned or not designed, or you know, whatever. It's bare. This is all hallways down here, but you know, it's a great part of the base. This area comes out into our horse area, the stable area, the farm area, whatever you want to call it. And you know, of course, that turned into its own part of the design as far as the castle goes as well. And you know what? Since we're out here, I think we're pretty much done with the inside of the base. There's probably like There's probably things I'm missing that I'm going to regret, but, you know, this video is going to be crazy long, guys. There's a map download in the description below, or it will be if it's not yet. And you guys can, of course, come and tour this base and explore it yourself if you want. It's so huge. I've done so much here. So now that we're out here, we'll talk about the farm area. So the farm area started with this gigantic horse stable we have, which now houses all of our horses that we have. In here we have Simon Swinson. Simon Swinson was one of the very first pets I had on the server, and he finally found a home in here. He had a carrot on a stick somewhere. I think it got taken. I think it was actually inside this for a while, but you know, you need a carrot on a stick to ride him. And in this pig over here, this is Trey. And I can't remember why his name is Trey. It has something to do with the number 3. I think I tried to save 3 pigs or something, and 2 of them died. And he was the 3rd. I can't really remember. Over here we have Bones, which was the very first skeleton horse that I got. And before we found out that skeleton horses aren't really anything special. This horse is unnamed, but he's pretty quick. We have another skeleton horse here. And this right here is HR Shoving Stuff. He's been around for a long time too, just about as long as Simon Swinson over there. Then over here we have Colby. Poor Colby. He never got ridden. I don't know. Didn't really like him very much, to be honest. Then, of course, over here we have all of our storage as far as the horse stable goes. We have our horse armor here. A whole bunch of saddles. Golden horse armor has its own chest. What was this going to be? Farm equipment. Never ended up getting storage in there. And then we got a whole bunch of leads. So we have 2 entrances into this horse stable. This is kind of like supposed to be the side entrance for people on foot. Then over here was going to be the entrance for the people on horse, which is obviously a larger entrance. It's at the front of the build, and it was supposed to be the main entrance, but since we have this side path, we ended up using this more than anything. And I was really happy with this stable. This is a gigantic stable, but like I said, the idea of everything I did on this server in this season was supposed to be bigger and better than I'd done any time else. So, of course, the stable turned out to be huge. This cow pasture over here, which has had a few different renditions. It used to kind of come out over here. This area looks so different from what it used to be. I'll see if I can find a clip of me walking around this area, but everything looks so different. It was such a huge change that we built around here. But this cow farm definitely got a lot of use to it. It appears all of our villagers have died somehow, some way or another, but we had a whole bunch of leather workers in here, which we could trade all of the leather we got from the cows to these guys in order to get, you know, free emeralds, or the leather workers also sold saddles, which were incredibly useful. Right here we had the horse pasture on the outside, so the special horses would be in the actual stable itself, and then the extras we just put out here in the horse pasture. And this is all late game stuff too, this gigantic wheat field, which I'm very happy about. And then we built that nice little windmill. And I love how this place turned out, man. This is one of my favorite places to be. If I'm ever bored and running around my base, a lot of the times I'll just hang out here by this wheat field and this little cobble wall, man. It's just, everything turned out so nice looking around here. I was really happy with it. This little pond that comes down a waterfall, little footpath that goes alongside this, big old ravine. You know, it's just, the area I chose I'm so happy with. Right here is a prank that got pulled on me by Mystical Goddess and Sea Money, and they built this McDonald's here, which is just absolutely, it was such a funny prank. I love that prank. And inside they sold mystery meat for 800 diamonds, which turned out to be a life savings for me. I saved up my entire life, and we finally came and bought that mystery meat for 800 diamonds. It was a really cool experience. We got the sheep pen here. This is where this was going to be temporary. We were just going to store some sheep here and going to, you know, put them somewhere else eventually. I don't usually keep sheep pens because I don't use sheep very much, but I guess I do. I ended up keeping that. This was a big change too. This was all forest for a very long time before we decided to cut it down. Before we decided that it's actually interrupting the view of the castle. I was really happy we cleared out those trees. This moose was going to be a prank on RJ when we were doing the cop thing. This was going to be like his cop vehicle because, of course, I had my Segway, and the Canadian Mountie needed a vehicle himself, so I was going to give him this moose. But that never happened, but this moose did turn out to be a spawn prank. When Canada Day came along, which is like the Canadian version of the American Independence Day, I prank spawned with a bunch of these mooses, so it did have its time to shine. As we come back down this path, and I realized I said we were going to start this tour from the portal. We never did. This was just the Halloween decoration. I don't know, this will probably get, you know, I could tear this down with no remorse. It was just supposed to be a Halloween decoration. This right here was a prank from, I think, Dunmar. I think Soy had something to do with it, too. But he built a bee. Bees? I don't know, it was an inside joke. And then this little building here, this is just another area that comes up into my, goes down, rather, into my branch mines. And this was going to be the original location for the main area to get into the branch mines. But then when I realized that it came up sort of in the middle of nowhere, I decided to make that the area inside my base, the actual main entrance into it. Then here we have the village, the custom village that we built. Very fantastic houses, very great. Very happy with how this turned out. And, you know, I always want to live near a villager village. But since I couldn't find one around this area, I decided to make my own. And that's not the only reason I decided to make my own. I kind of always wanted to build a custom village. And it looks like I think Ixon built some customization a little bit himself around here. I don't remember making that. Maybe I did. That little peak there. I think he did some customization when he joined the server. But I just love how this turned out. It was very mob proof for a while. Now you can see there's a lot of dark areas around here. I had it pretty lit, but I think Ixon, and I appreciate Ixon making this place look a little bit better. He added like these walls here when he joined the server. But the problem is there is like this right here. There's a lot of dark spots now. It kind of ruined the lighting a little bit, so we wouldn't be able to have any villagers in here because there would be mobs spawning. But I do like how this place turned out, man. This little custom village is really good. And, of course, now this is where we keep our polar bears that were very difficult to catch. We have these polar bears here. I don't want to get too close because that skeleton's trying to shoot me. He's going to end up shooting my polar bears. But we have Brock and Sage, and hopefully they make a return next season because they are two very important pets that I have, and I would love to actually build them a proper habitat rather than have them live here in this ghost town we have. But originally, this village was going to be over here, which, as you guys may remember, used to be a big building right here that I absolutely hated, and we finally ended up burning it down. It was such a good moment. But the village was going to be around this small lake here. Just around it, and it was going to have docks going over it, and the villagers would actually occupy it. Did I mention that? Over there in that village, you know, we get actual villagers we get from the breeder and curing villagers, and we put them in there, so they actually occupy it. You know, it's their town. That I built for them. So that was going to be the idea. It was going to be around this lake. That never ended up happening, so I ended up clearing that spot over there. Get out of my face. Don't even blow up, buddy. Oh my god, the mobs. I just shot my dog. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Bucket. Oh, you're good. Stitches, man, you cannot die on the last episode of the season. Okay, so now we're over at the portal area, and this is something I do every season, everywhere I go. This is like my thing. So when you're on a multiplayer server, maybe you don't want people coming to your base all the time. Maybe you want some base protection. So the way I do it is, you know, naturally, if people are going to come to your base, they're probably going to take the portal. And that's because the thing to do now is to actually build nether hubs, which is a very, very smart design build if you're on an SMP. I had to take another drink of water. I'm getting incredibly winded, guys. This is a hard video to make, all the talking that I'm doing. Are you guys still here? So this is what I do, and I didn't realize I copied Etho. I think it was my idea, but I think you know, like minds think alike. What's that? How's it go? Great minds think alike or something? I thought I came up with this myself, but the Ender Pearl elevator, you know, we hit this button. And this is my design, by the way. I don't know if Etho has this, but I have dispensers up there that actually dispense lava, and it fills the creeper face up with lava. And then the only way to get in and out is by throwing an ender pearl through the lava, and then we get into here, the portal room. Here we are. This is my portal room, and it is completed, and it's designed very well. I'm just kidding. It's not completed at all. It's probably going to be a different shape and everything. And, you know, that's something I've always done. I'll probably do it next season, too. So you want some privacy at your base, so you make your... the idea was I made my portal room a little bit dangerous, so maybe it would deter people from wanting to come kill me in the death games or something. But this never ended up working. Well, now I have the Ender Pearl dispenser up there with free Ender Pearls. You hit this button, and it drops exactly 16 Ender Pearls. But before that, not everybody carries around ender pearls, so they come here and they're like, well, I want to go to Doza's base, but I don't have ender pearl to throw through it, so they would just dig through the wall. That's always really bothered me. So then I installed this button here, which people can press, and since we're in the overworld, lava moves very slowly. But I put that there so hopefully people wouldn't dig through my damn wall to get to my base, if they didn't have ender pearls to throw through like that. And then of course we have a little cliffside that I built that has vines hanging off that catches you in these ender pearls so you don't go flying off into the trees. But even that didn't work, and people would still dig through it and stuff like that. That, or they would hit the button and they would get rid of this lava, and they wouldn't hit the button again. They would just leave it empty, and then, sometimes creepers or mobs would wander through and end up in this room. There's been a few times where people leave the lava down, and I come through here, and there's a creeper, and it blows up and destroys all this, and I got to redesign it, and, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So let me think really quick. Is there anything else we're missing at the base before we head into the nether? Yeah, I think there are a couple more things. So this path here, this goes over to Hungry Squid's base, who lives he lives quite close to me. Oh, what's this out here? Hold on a minute. Oh, I see. It's just a bitter grass thing. Like, the bitter grass shows up like this. I guess the snow blocks show up as full snow blocks as well. Never mind. But anyways, this path goes over to Hungry Squid's base. That never got finished either, but it made it most of the way to Squid's base. I made it far enough where it was starting to intrude in his area, so I was kind of hoping that he would pick up on the path and kind of finish it and, make it end where he wanted it to end over at his place. This little archway, this came around in Halloween because I wanted a great reveal to the castle. Now, I don't have the best render distance, so you can't see the castle from here, but mostly everybody else can. So I wanted to do something to break it up. I wanted to have a great reveal to the castle. So I built this little archway here. You come out, you're like, oh, cool, like trees, some things, Halloween decorations, and just, dang it, put that back in there. Then you come through here, and it's like a transition. It breaks it up, and then all of a sudden you see the big castle. And of course we can't see it because, my problem. So there are a couple more things I want to show you guys before we go into the nether. It's in the back, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things that I'm failing to show you guys because I'm trying to rush through it. This is a very difficult video to make. I'm getting exhausted already, guys, and I'm sorry if my enthusiasm is not here. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce words right. I'm sorry if my computer's doing weird things with the file because I've had problems with freaking desyncing audio lately. Hopefully that's not happening. This right here, this is an ancient artifact right here. This doesn't even work anymore. We got this cauldron here with a hopper on the bottom into a chest, and that's simply just to collect some eggs. Found some chickens laying eggs around the area, and I've already killed them and used them for food, and then take the chicken eggs they hatched and threw them into that pot over there, that cauldron. And of course the chickens don't fall out, they just sit in there and lay eggs. But we have a cauldron, a hopper, and a chest. It used to be that you could hatch chickens into a cauldron and they would not be able to get out. All mobs, any mob that ended up in a cauldron would not be able to get out no matter what. It'd be stuck. And this is an ancient artifact, man. This is my very first chicken farm. And another ancient artifact is this little fence here. I can't remember what I kept in it, but this was a long time ago that I built this fence. I used to keep something in there. I can't remember. I think maybe the first cows that I caught or something. I don't remember, but that's some old artifacts over there. I'm really struggling to remember if there's anything that we're missing, and I'm sure there is, man. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm kind of skipping over. But this gigantic wall back here, this was a huge addition to the castle we have here. And originally, I started building just the facade of this castle. Everything you see out front was going to be just the castle. That was going to be the only castle-y part of it. But then I had this natural mob farm back here, which we have talked about. This goes down into the base. We've talked about this a little bit. I wanted to have some kind of tower on top of it. So you can see right where my cursor is, it was just going to be this tower. Then when I built that, I decided that it was too peaky. It looked too solitary. It didn't look like it belonged to the rest of the build. So I thought maybe building walls out either side of it would make it look a little bit better. And it just ended up, I put a couple more towers on the ends of it there, and it ended up being just this gigantic thing. And it still barely connects to the rest of the castle, but I've done enough to it now that it belongs to it well enough. I think we did a pretty good job with this castle in the end. We have all these walkways that, you know, go every which direction as a castle naturally should. And, you know, we're inside the castle now. I should point that out too, but you know what? Oh, man, this is such a hard video to record, guys. I really apologize. Apologize if it's boring day or anything's going wrong. But I just want to talk about this backside a little bit before we go back into the Nether, because that's probably going to be the last place we're going to go. These are natural. These are little mob traps. You can see we pop into here. Now we're trapped. And underneath here we have a dispenser that if we put an item in there, and of course this gets stepped on, it dispenses the item. And the idea with that is maybe these zombies. Actually, we might be able to get this guy to walk in it. Nope, he died. Those guys walk into that and then they get trapped. Actually, this guy, he's been around for a very, very, very long time. He's been trapped in there a very long time. And you know, you put the cover over it so the sun doesn't burn them up. This was just a test. I just threw this up because I wanted to test and see if that actually worked. Right over here, we have a redstone contraption that never, you know, this never worked out either. So it actually disconnected all the redstone, but it came up this torch ladder right here. And if we plop on down, how do we get out of here? Where is it? There's somewhere we can get into my base. Okay, I'm just tearing everything up. Who cares? We already have the last world save going on. Sorry about my squeaky chair. So this room was going to be a sort of control room. You hit this switch, it would send a redstone pulse up there over to... Okay, I'm not really sure what happened. Hopefully the file isn't completely ruined, but we're definitely reaching the end here. I'm running out of recording space. But this lever, you're supposed to pull this, and this room didn't initially have lava flowing down it. It had signs that was holding the lava up here, and then above that was the dispensers we saw up top, and it would shoot arrows through it, the arrows would go through the lava, turning into fire arrows. And this little room here was going to be the spot where we would put the villagers that we don't want. So, you know, I was going to have a thing down below that actually, it was like a water ladder that put them into this room. And when we didn't want them, we hit that switch and it'd shoot them with fire arrows and kill them. And, you know, all the villagers we get from this villager breeder here, that never came about either. So let's head back up top. Okay, back outside. So the last few things I want to talk about are back here where we saw the big sugarcane field and all this. This is one of my proudest areas. We have the creeper field here. You can see all the creepers are stored in this area. And this is pretty recent too. We have touched on this before, so I'm sure you guys have heard about this. But we leave the roof open on these guys just in case lightning happens to strike in this area and turns it into a charged creeper. And once it's a charged creeper, we hit this button and it actually drops them down into the storage below. And you can see we have, what is this, 3, 6, 9, 12. We have room for 12 creepers up here. And then over here we have a little vine thing. This is the old pumpkin patch. This is just where I grow vines, and I put a bunch of rose bushes in it because it kind of looks like, I don't know, the vines look like a gigantic bush and then they look like little berries inside it. I don't know what I was thinking. This right here was just a little bit of ice I laid down once I found out about boats on ice, which is hilarious. This was going to be a runway for elytras. When the elytras first came out, this was going to be a runway that came straight into my base. It was going to be like a hangar. We come in here and this was going to be all open. And eventually that turned into the creeper storage. So we just, oh god, we just dropped this creeper. I didn't realize the glass is actually broken. So he's just wandering around. Hey, buddy, you know what? You got to get out of here. You got to get here. I'm going to let my dogs handle you. I guess the dogs don't want nothing to do with it. Okay. This is the creeper storage. Really happy with how this turned out. We're definitely going to do this again on the next season. Have some kind of storage like this. We're definitely going to have the contraption we have up there that you know, holds the creepers and then drops them down into the storage itself. So I'm positive that I've probably missed a few things here and there, but I'm kind of nervous about my recording space. I'm kind of nervous about the problems I've been having lately, which, oh no, what's that in the chat? Stitches discovered floor was lava. Okay, Stitches died. How you doing, Hank? You doing all right?
Stitches, man, you cannot die on the last episode of the season.
Oh, hey, Creeper. Okay, things are quickly getting scary. So I'm really nervous about the footage, how that's working out. I'm really nervous about the, you know, the interest of this video. I hope I'm being interesting. I'm hoping there's no corrupted files and sound desyncing. So we're gonna head to the Nether, and this is going to be the end, guys. Okay, we're back here in my portal room, and I'm gonna make you sit, Hank. I really don't want you to die. I want you to come back next season. Obviously, Stitches ain't coming back because he decided to figure out the floor was lava. But as you can see, my portal room is designed to look as if we're in the Nether, and this is intentional because of how my Nether hub looks, or how my Nether tunnel looks. So, take a look at this. You know, it's all very, very Nethery. Lots of fire, lots of scariness. And then if we come through the portal, we can see my tunnel. Step away from that portal so it's not loud. So you can see, in contrast to my portal room looking like the Nether, we are now in the actual Nether, and I made it look as if we are in an overworld cave. I never got a lot of compliments on my tunnel here, but I like it, man. I thought it was a really cool idea, because it's kind of confusing when people go through the portal and it looks like they're in the Nether, but really they're in the overworld, and they come back through and it looks like they're in the I don't know. It was a really fun idea. You know, this took a lot of work to do. This was another one of the first projects I've done. And this took a long time to do, man. Just getting the smooth stone for it. You know, I came through with smooth stone first. Then I brought in the granite and the andesite and all the other new blocks. Then I came through with some coal and some iron, and it just made it look as if we're in a real cave. And then I came through and I made it look as if there's like a little bit of an abandoned mine shaft through here, completed with you know, the cobwebs and everything. So that goes all the way back to the hub, and I'm sure you guys have seen that. If you didn't see that, go watch everybody else's video. They did a big spawn tour, including the Nether hub here. And if we cut through this side of the tunnel, you can see it looks like we're still in the overworld. Looks like we're going through an abandoned mine shaft. We come out to over here, and that goes over to MG's place, which is another one of my nearest neighbors. My neighbors include MG, Hungry Squid, and Exo is relatively close, and Paperclip is closer than I ever thought he was. Oh, man. Okay, well, I think that's it, guys. Let me find a place we can do an outro. I guess we can end it right here on top of the custom tree that Ix had made me. And let me do this, and let the castle load in a little bit, and then we can do our final outro, guys. And there we have it. What a view this is, guys. Let's take a nice little look around. I am so exhausted. I wish I could have made a more in-depth tour and kind of talked about more things. I hope I covered everything. I hope I was interesting. I hope I was thorough. It's very difficult making these very long videos, especially when you do it in one shot. You know, I've been sitting here for a couple hours, I think, making this video. But it's been a great season, guys. I am so happy to join. I've been so happy to join this group of people, even though it was so late in the season. It was already about a year in before I joined. And we completed so much in such a little time here, and it's really exciting that I'm going to be starting a brand new season with all of these guys. I'm really excited to start at square one with everybody. It's always very fun and very entertaining as far as YouTube goes, and it's fun for us to do a brand new season and to start over new. You know, nobody has anything. Surviving the first night is always episode 1. It's always, you know, everybody's together, and it's going to be really fun, guys. I'm sad to let this season go because we've done so much, and I've grown so attached to this base and what it's become. You know, we didn't even finish this giant castle part until the very end, and that's always kind of bummed me out because I wish we could have enjoyed the base as it is now for a longer period of time. And now the rain starts. It's getting depressing, guys. It wouldn't be VforVanilla without a bunch of rain, right? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this season. You know, there's a full playlist of this entire season if you guys want to go back and watch my beginning to the very end. And I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited for the next season. It's coming very soon. There's going to be a little bit of a lull in VforVanilla stuff. You know, there's going to be other videos on my channel going up in the meantime. But I'm really excited. I hope you guys have enjoyed all the events and all the tours and all the fun stuff we've been doing here at the end of the season. And I cannot wait to start the new one. We can't end it yet, guys. There's still one more thing we have to do, and we have to hang up all of our gear for the final time this season. This gear has mending on it. It has been with us for a long time now, and now we are hanging it up for the final time. Let me get a item frame. We're going to need 2 item frames, actually. We'll put one here, and that's where we will put the Diamond Sword 2, which is my go-to sword for everything, And then, of course, we need to get Deboza, which right now is not actually named Deboza. And we'll just put him right there. That's kind of disappointing, actually. I thought I named this bow. I guess I didn't. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me this season. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I have absolutely loved being a part of this community. And I'm not going to spill my guts out any more than I already have. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next season. Love, peace, and chicken grease.